Your marketing is completely pointless if you don't have a solid offer in place. Seriously, your reels, your YouTube videos, carousels, ads, none of it actually matters if you don't have a bulletproof offer in place. A lot of creators are making content and running ads to drive traffic to a low quality offer, meaning that clients don't get results, they don't make money, and your business goes to zero. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can turn your expertise that you currently have into a bulletproof offer that sells itself. This is the second episode in a 6-part series where I show you exactly how you can build an info product business, a coaching business, or an agency, leveraging what I call the personal brand ecosystem. This is the same system that I use in Creatorpreneur, my personal company that did multi-5 figures in the first few weeks of launch. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear roadmap, not just for building an offer, but to ensure that every piece of content you make actually contributes to sales. So grab a paper and pen, throw your phone away, and lock the fuck in. Let's dive into it. Right, the offer alchemy blueprint. I've had a few people asking me how to put together a high ticket offer because it can be a difficult thing to do if you don't have the right steps in place. And if you don't get it right the first time, it's going to cost you a lot of time further down the line. So with that in mind, this is exactly how to transform your expertise into an offer that sells itself. So the old way that people would kind of make money with their personal brands or social media is to make a load of content, build up a following, then go away and create a course or a program or something and hope that some of their audience buy it. The issue here is that you're constantly having to make new content to market your offer, creating new YouTube videos, reels, lead magnets, content assets to push traffic to your offer. This is a very backwards way of doing it. Let me show you what I mean. The new way, the way that we're going to be going over today, we start off by creating our core program, so our core body of knowledge. We use that to generate client results, and we then extrapolate content from our core program. We use it as that sort of central hub for all of our content and marketing. We pull out our YouTube videos, our reels, lead magnets, emails, ads, etc. from this core body of knowledge. And as a result, our messaging stays consistent and our offer sells itself. It markets itself. Build the offer, use it to market itself. And as soon as I sort of implemented this structure to my offer, it allowed me to communicate and market my offer so much more effectively that it allowed me to generate over 30K on the first drop of Creatorpreneur back in September. And it's the same framework that I'm using for my clients who are literally making their first high ticket info product sales ever within 72 hours of implementing it. 2 sales there, 1 sale there, first sale there. So it's working really well. So a little summary of the old way versus the new way. The current creator, entrepreneur way, make a load of content, hope they get some followers from that content. Some of them don't even get to that stage. Cobble together some sort of course or program to try and grab some money from it, sell to those followers, and then they wonder why they have no consistent sort of sales. And the new way, the Creatorpreneur way that we're going to be going over today, we're finding a real problem that needs solving. We're creating the perfect solution for that problem. We're generating proof, we're generating results, and we're leveraging that in our content to showcase that transformation and attracting ready to buy clients. If you haven't seen any of the other videos in this series, they're going to be in the description so you can dive into them as well. So first I want to go over what we're going to be kind of running through. The breakdown. There's 3 core elements that go into making an offer successful. And by successful, I mean that there's a demand for it. It actually solves a problem that needs fixing. It can effectively generate client results. It stands out in a crowded market and it markets and sells itself. And these are the 3 sort of core elements that we're going to go ahead and go over today. So market fit, what problem are we actually solving? The delivery system, how do we actually produce results and how do we market it? And then thirdly, our unique mechanism. How are we going to differentiate our product from the rest of the products on the market? Because there are a lot of them now. And once your offer's dialed in, using these 3 elements, marketing is going to become effortless. So let's dive into it. Phase 1, market fit. How do we find a problem that actually needs solving and is going to be sustainable long term? This is something that not a lot of people think about. They think, right, how can we grab money as soon as possible instead of thinking about how they can create a sustainable long term offer? So first up, we need to think which market are we going to dive into in the first place. And a lot of people will kind of dive into the market that they think is going to make them the most money, buying dog toys off Temu and selling them for 30% profit, instead of what actually makes sense for them personally, right? If you want to build a long-term legacy, a long-term business, you need to choose a niche that speaks to you and one that you can commit to, one that's profitable, fulfilling, and aligned with your skill set. And that's where this comes in, the Ikigai framework. And essentially what we want to do is we want to find this middle point. This is our Ikigai. It's the overlap of what we love, so what we do if we weren't getting paid to do it, what the world needs, there's a genuine demand, a real problem that needs solving there, and what you're good at. So what skills and knowledge and experience have you already got that you can leverage within this offer to help people to solve their problems? And obviously, what can you be paid for? Are there people who are going to be willing to pay for this solution? Very, very important. If you're missing any of these, not only is it going to be hard to actually make your business work, but it's not going to be sustainable because it will not be fulfilling for you. You're not going to have that drive to wake up in the morning, go ahead and actually action this business and drive it forwards because it's not going to play into your lifestyle. And that's very important. And most people never figure this out, right? They keep chasing that next 10K a month trend. What's going to make them the next quick money, right? We're not building quick money. We're building sustainable money. Finding our ikigai is the first step. Finding our niche, finding our market. Then once we found that niche, we need to decide what problem we're going to solve. And it's quite simple, okay? You can go ahead and just ask. Do your research. The first way that I like to think about it is if you've selected your niche properly, you should have some skin in the game. So you should understand the market to a degree. So one thing that you can do straight off the bat is think 2-3 years ago, what was the biggest pain point, the biggest struggle that you had? What would you have paid to solve back then? From there, you can kind of tap into that market, tap into that audience and survey them. You can put up stories on your Instagram. You can literally DM people directly. You can put up content, read the comment sections. You can join communities. You can join school communities, Facebook communities within your market, similar sort of target audience. Ask questions, understand their language, understand their frustrations, their desires, and their buying habits. And the key data that we want to kind of extrapolate from these areas is where are they now? What are they currently doing? Where do they want to get to? What's the end goal that they want to get to? And how do we traverse that gap? We want to find out what their current situation is. What's keeping them up at night? What's making them stressed? Dig deep on the pain points. What have they tried before and why didn't it work? For example, have they tried a course before, but the course was shit, so they didn't get any results? Have they tried certain mentorships, but they didn't like the style they were in? Have they tried to improve their content when their real problem is their offer, for example? What current situation are they in? What pain points do they have? And what's the cost of not solving the problem? Let's say someone has a lead flow problem. What's the cost of not fixing that lead flow problem? It's probably that your business doesn't make any money and it goes under in a few months. If you're severely overweight, what's the cost of not solving that? Health issues, your wife leaves you, etc. Dig deep, find that current situation, find that before state so you can target those pain points. And secondly, we want to find out their dream outcome. So that after state, that dream state. What is their ideal result? And a key thing to note here is it needs to be measurable and time bound. And what I mean by that is that instead of saying, I want to make more money on my social media, I want to get more leads from my social media, you can say, I want to generate an extra 15K MRR from my social media in the next 90 days. It's measurable and it's time bound. There's a metric on it. Secondly, this is a really important one as well. What kind of person do they want to become? Again, I touched on this briefly in the last video, but people don't invest in courses or programs or products. They invest in a transformation. So what element of themselves do they want to change? What kind of person do they want to become? Do they want to become the kind of guy that sits poolside in Bali, typing away and building his business? Do they want to become an athlete that's running around and sweating and doing all these sporting events? Do they want to be the type of guy that walks into a bar and has all the women stare at him? What kind of person do they want to become? We can target those kind of dream outcomes, those images in people's minds of what they want to become. In a nutshell, what's the tangible value of them achieving this dream outcome? And then once we've kind of figured out where they're at now, where they want to be, we also want to figure out what is stopping them from getting there. What are the key roadblocks? These are the problems that we need to solve with our offer. So we've got our niche there. We've got our outline for our offer and what problems we need to solve. Now we just need to kind of validate it. And the reason we do this is because let's say you're trying to make an offer to help people drink more water. That's not a very good offer. Are there other people in the market with similar solutions who are actually succeeding? Probably not. But for your offer, if you've got a good niche, you've got a good problem to solve, what price points are working in the market? We don't want to be competing on price, but we want to have a rough idea of what's working for other people. Where are the gaps in existing solutions? So what is the market missing that you can provide? What's that unique angle you can bring? And we're going to go over your unique mechanism in a second, but start thinking about these key questions. Once we've done that, we're going to move on to the client roadmap, the 3x3 roadmap. And this is the mechanism with which we're going to achieve client results, which we can then leverage in our content, leverage in our marketing to get more people into our ecosystem. So the reason we create this 3x3 roadmap is so that we can visualize our offer and potential clients can clearly see the path they're going to take to get from their current situation to their dream situation. And it also acts as the hub from which we can draw all of our content ideas, all of our marketing materials. Let me show you how it works. So we start off with the first three. So we've got 3x3. The first three is the 3 phases. Foundations. As soon as someone hops on the program, what do they dive into? A key thing with a high ticket program is we want to get our clients quick wins. We want to make them feel as though they've invested and they've got something out of it straight off the bat. Those first sort of 72 hours are key when you onboard a client to make them avoid that kind of buyer's remorse so they don't want to charge back or anything like that. So we want to get them a quick win and we want to start building momentum. I'm going to show you an example of this in a second. Second phase, implementation. This is where we kind of implement the core transformation and implement our systems, which might take a little bit longer. Okay, this foundation phase might take the first 2 weeks. The second phase might take the next 4 weeks. And then we move on to mastery. So once they've mastered the basics, then we can move on to advanced strategies, optimization, and long-term success. So setting them up for long-term success, implementing systems to keep them accountable moving forwards. And we also have the option here to upsell them to a retainer or to a higher ticket program. We're going to go over that as well in a second. And here's an example of a 3x3 roadmap for a fitness coaching offer. So we've got our starting states: skinny fat dude, poor diet, poor habits, and he wants to get here. Add an extra 10 pound of muscle, he wants to be lean, nutritional diet, and accountability systems in place. So we dive into foundations, helping them to understand the training protocol, working on compound movements, and cutting out all the shit out of their diet. Quick wins, building momentum. We then move on to the implementation phase, building them out a customized strength plan that suits their needs. We've got conditioning and cardio to help them burn that fat. And then we've got a personalized meal plan to keep them consistent with it, give them a shopping list, tell them exactly what they need to do. Again, this is an example, so I'm not going into much detail. And then mastery, advanced workouts that suit them specifically. Lifestyle lock-in, implementing systems to keep them accountable long-term. And then adapting their nutrition to their personal needs based on their bodies and their goals. So this is just an example of a 3x3 roadmap, something that we help you to build out within CreatorX. And from here, once we've got the sort of outline, the visual outline that we can present to prospects, show them how the system's going to work, we can then go in depth. And this is where we create an even more sort of molecular roadmap. We can go ahead and build a step-by-step roadmap with every single possible thing they could need to achieve that end result. So we can give this to clients when they join the program to keep them accountable and ensure results. So within here, there might be a load of assets and a load of training materials and a load of things they need. We literally want to break the entire program down step by step by step by step by step. You can see all these little steps. You can tick them off as you go, and it keeps them accountable. It tells them when to book in one-to-one calls. It tells them when to watch certain modules, when to read documents, when to use certain assets, when to use certain resources. Okay. This way, we can ensure that clients are getting exactly what they need to solve their problems. So you might be asking, right, well, we've made this roadmap. Why did we bother with the 3x3 roadmap? It's not just some pretty visual. This is also going to act as a content machine. Your value-driven content, which we're going to dive into in the next video in the authority content strategy section, all of your content needs to be streamlined and relevant to your offer in some way. Again, we'll go over this in more depth in the next video. But each stage essentially acts as a content pillar. And it allows your audience to see, understand, and trust your process over time. So you might make a YouTube video on how to build a strength plan. You might build a YouTube video on how to do meal prep, how to improve your lifestyle, how to stay accountable. Every post you make then moves people closer to the realization that your system is the missing piece. I need you guys to understand this. This is so key. We need our content to be selling on our behalf, right? It's not just spraying out content, generating traffic, and driving it to a landing page. Every piece of content serves a purpose. It's showing that our system is the way to achieve a certain result. That's how you turn your content into a client acquisition machine. We're installing a belief in our process using our content. That's how you market properly. And in our next video, like I said, I'm going to show you how to leverage this in your content strategy so you can actually pre-sell people with your content. So make sure you're subscribed. This document's going to be below this video in the free Creatorpreneur Academy. So go ahead and join that. You can get access to all of this for free. Now that we've chosen our market and we've built out our client roadmap, it's imperative that we position our offer in a way that stands out from the rest. There are hundreds and hundreds of offers online now. How are we going to stand out from the rest? And that brings us on to phase 3, the unique mechanism. Like I said in the last video, people don't just buy coaching. They don't buy systems. You can have a great system. They're not going to buy the system. They buy into your way of doing things, your method, your system, your brand. Okay, we're building a personal brand. We want a system that is unique to your personal brand. And it's not just about how you deliver the system and what the system does. It's about how you package it, how you brand the actual system. For example, if I went ahead and said, I help people grow on social media. Okay, well, so does everyone else. But if I help you to implement the authority flywheel, a framework that turns YouTube content into a lead generating machine, suddenly that is something that you want to hear more details on. That's something that separates your solution from the rest of the 16-year-old kids on the internet who help you to grow on social media. Your personal brand needs its own unique system, so the key is to brand your process. And here's how to do it. Firstly, we want to solve the problem in a unique way. How can we come up with a unique approach that hasn't been done before? If we can't come up with something completely unique, how can we do it better and create that unique angle? Secondly, it needs to be easy to understand. We've just come up with our visual roadmap that we can provide clients with, giving people that visual roadmap with clear steps so they can understand how our system works. We also need to be able to argue why it's better than the old way, all right? Why is your ad system better than the classic run ads to a landing page and hope it converts? Highlight the disadvantages of the old way. Prove that your system works, prove that it's better than the old way of doing things. And finally, this one's really important, and it's one that I really try to live by. Something that I tell all my clients they need to do: memorable branding, right? It needs a catchy name. For example, Offer Alchemy. For example, personal brand ecosystem. It needs to have a catchy name, easy to explain, and a clear structure. So once we've done those sort of 3 phases, we've got the basis for a very solid offer. From there, once we've got our offer in place, we can also build a product ladder. Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth on this, but we do go into this super in-depth in CreatorX. You can build a product ladder. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow us to cater to a broader audience further down the line, meaning more levels of access, which can be upsold in the future. For example, people might consume your content, they might buy a low-ticket product from you, and then they might upsell to your group coaching, and then they might upsell to your one-to-one coaching. They might consume a lead magnet, a free lead magnet, buy your course and upsell to the one-to-one coaching. But what we can do with this roadmap is we can take elements of it. For example, I could take stage 4 and sell it as its own low ticket product, for example. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I'm going to dive into it in another video. But more ways to buy, A, means more revenue without having to create a brand new offer from scratch. We're literally just taking elements from that core body of knowledge, repackaging it as a low ticket product and selling it. Content becomes way easier because everything is in line with your offer. You can cater to a broader audience. So let's say they're kind of skeptical. They want to get in, take a baby step, and then they realize the course is great and they want to hop onto this. You're kind of easing them into it. If you only have one high ticket offer, as soon as a prospect says no, you're essentially turning them away. The likelihood of them coming back in the future is very low. Whereas if you try and sell them on your high ticket program, they turn around and say no, you downsell them to a lower ticket product, then upsell them later on in the future. That's the best way of doing it. Otherwise, you're literally leaving money on the table. Otherwise, you're losing people who might have worked their way up to that higher ticket program if you've given them the right way, the right customer journey. But here's the thing, even with a dialed in offer, if your personal brand and your content and your marketing doesn't stand out, none of this works. The best offer in the world means nothing if nobody sees you as that go-to expert that they want to invest in. So make sure you subscribe, because in the next video, I'm going to go over the content strategy that allows you to position yourself as the authority in your niche. So your content is building trust, building authority for you, and pre-selling your offer so that you don't even have to take sales calls, while still allowing you to be creative and actually build a personal brand without being too mechanical. That's pretty much everything you need to know in order to get the ball rolling with building your own offer. I've got a few options for you to kind of end off this video. If brand ecosystem that adds an extra 20K a month to your info product, agency, course, whatever it is, without having to go viral, without having to spend a load of money on ads and not spending loads of time on it every single day. You can go ahead and try and figure it out on your own. That's what I did. Completely fine. Maybe you'll do it, maybe you won't. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel because I drop a load of free value every single week on exactly how to do it for yourself. We've also got the free Contentpreneur Academy below this video. Loads of free courses, free assets. There's literally thousands of dollars of free assets in this community that you can go ahead and steal and implement straight away. Or finally, if you're really serious about skipping that learning curve and you want to work with me directly one-to-one and you want to add an extra 20K a month to your personal brand in the next 90 days, no trial and error, you can DM me 2025 on Instagram or drop me a message via school and I'll send you the details. Either way, you have everything you need to go ahead and start implementing this stuff. There's no excuse. So the only question is, are you going to go ahead and actually take action? Your move. See you in the next video.